Hello. Right now we'll start about our class 465, our smart things security. As a first week, it's just a still introduction about more background with smart things, and then what we're going to cover about securities. As a beginning, when we talk about smart things, so what are the smart things? So those the devices that connect to the internet. So let us are able to be controlled remotely. So here will be all the concepts that we mainly all the devices able to remotely controlled that will be possible. Maybe we have some small thermostat, like let's say the GoNet or some like smart lock. So we can like remotely open the lock or lock it. Maybe as what we always say, we know the cameras, even we know some smart speakers, like let's say the Amazon Echoes, Google Home, for Apple HomePod, they will integrate with their AI. We call the maybe Siri or this, or nowadays we integrate more like AI stuff. And what are possible like for we talk about IoT, Internet of Things, because those things like of the internet, so they will can be at home or the cities, or we can use it in the industry. Okay. And so far we can estimate the growth in the smart device usage, and then all the connectivity actually that will be going up. Okay. That's how about the smart things. Then we will cover, okay, then we will sometimes we will say, okay, Internet of Things, IoT. So they always have a good connection. So those devices we talk about, then we have a network of interconnected, and then they can collect, share, exchange data automatically over the internet. So it's called the Internet of Things. And that's why we can define as well we talk about those all the devices, log, camera, speakers. They could be all could be this Internet of Things, of course, including different type of sensor. We can return the data, so they are possible. Then if you look at all those devices, sensor, then they are all the components of an IoT system. Okay, and then you will see another keyword we talk about smart things, and then we form the Internet of Things, and then we create the system. So they are really physical objects they can embed with the sensor or actuators. So those like thermostats, the camera, or lights. So all these. And pretty a lot sensors, they're already included, so they can collect some real-time data from the environment. Let's say the temperature, some motions, and then humidity sensor. So all these sensors maybe when we talk about motion, like movement, even temperature more, maybe if you want to distinguish like it's a human, maybe we use the IR, infrared. Or like in sometimes for distance, we have the radar, we have the ultrasound sensor, and we do have different type of sensors. Okay, and those we talk about. Okay, the actuators, those devices that perform actions. So based on the data we receive, okay. So if we set the schedule, or like we want to like manually turn on off the lights by ourselves, and then maybe we need to address the thermostat. Okay, that means like we are reading the button, or sometimes they are touch screen. Then, or that means how can we kick it on? Okay, kick off the action. So we need to know, and more because we talk about the whole system. Then we need to know the connectivities. So it's all the communication protocol and network technology that allow devices to interact and they share data. So we can using like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, or we have this BE. So all these are possible. Pretty common. We're using the Bluetooth or cellular. Okay, and then they're using the cellular to access to the WAN, and for the funding the system, they can using the Wi-Fi. They create their own intranet and create their own communication network. Okay, that means they're working together and just need the master. That means the master not connect to the web or internet. Then they will be okay to communicate with the outside world. This may be possible. And in our, we do have lots of example. If you just pay attention to any environment, we use a lot. Let's say we have the smart thermostat. Most of our home may be using this one. So we can adjust the temperature based on the data received. And we do have a temperature sensor. So we know, okay, current, maybe let's say it's 72, 74. Then maybe you can set up, okay, maybe you need to turn on AC or turn on the heater. Then it will send the data to the cloud server over the Wi-Fi, maybe something like server, more than that. So lots of possibility. Okay. Then we know that all those keywords of smart things devices. Then we do have different type. So one is the home automation devices. Let's say the smart light. So you know pretty common right now, lots of lights, and then you can work with those devices, smart thermostat, smart locks. So lots of different brand. Maybe if you want to adjust your the light and then using those LED system or using a hub, so you can control those lights remotely, and also they can monitor, okay, set the time, so they can provide better energy efficiency, or maybe the lock you can use, then maybe provide better for the home security. So there are lots of smart laws. If we search all those brands, it all comes out. So, and then one more type for smart devices we're going to use would be healthcare devices. So they can be some like wearable health monitor, smart Google meters, or connect some ECG devices. So pretty common for the wearable. Okay, you know the Fitbands, Apple Watch, beware Samsung Watch, so all the things. Okay, I think all those are scales. So they can provide continuous health monitoring and maybe provide remote patient management. Okay, so they can get in the real-time feedback about their patient activities, and then they can share some like health data with the doctor. So most of the time they will send all the data to the app and upload to their database. So it's like, and then one more, maybe we'll say it's more likely in the industrial. Those industrial IoT devices you can see is called the IoT. And those also include all those sensors, actuators, and then predictive maintenance system. So you see slightly more is about the predictive maintenance system. Maybe with some like vibration sensors and turbines, and then some temperature sensors and monitoring pens, plants, or also we have some automated industrial process and keep checking maybe if in the production environment, okay, we need to make sure to maintain the temperature, then we can, yes, using a sensor the temperature, and then make sure they maybe the humidity. I know sometimes for manufacturing they will, for some parts, or when they producing certain items, they will need to maintain, okay, the humidity should be within certain range, and then they couldn't be too hot, but couldn't be too cold. So all this, when they use the smart devices using for the industrial, slightly not different or like more complicated. So always, but the idea is the same. And we talk about the wearable devices, similar, so those smartwatch, fitness and tracker, some argument like reality glasses, maybe the Apple Watch, we talk about Apple Glass, or the Oculus VR headset. Some pretty common, we using the VR headset using, so we can keep checking some fitness information, heartbeat, yeah, and then your impulse, and also we have always they doing the real-time data collection, or maybe some entertainment is possible. And So far right now, we see all the devices, hardware. Then we ask when the cover of the IoT, that means more stuff, and one more important things. We always say, okay, we will remote, right? And we'll connect to internet. Okay. Then when billions of devices they be added each year, okay, smart devices at home, city, industry using. So why not if we are look at the data, maybe we expect exceed 75 billion connected devices by 2025. If we think 75 billion, yes, how crazy is it? And all those data collected are like sharing real time. Okay, then we need to think about, okay, when we go, first one, what are those security challenges? So the one is about the vulnerabilities in the IoT devices. Okay, because most of them we need to know is like those IoT devices, they are really low cost. They often lead to poor security features. They mainly provide collecting data. That means they maybe didn't have a program or do anything, really keep checking the security, doing guiding. Okay. And then also the lack of standardization, because we have different IoT manufacturers. So they can use the proprietary protocols or some security models, make it harder to ensure the uniform protection. So it's a problem. Because all the manufacturers, they can use their own standard, and they're still not yet say, okay, we have followed certain standard. Okay. And we do have some data privacy concern because especially some like wearables or some like using for home, then we collect some massive amount personal data. Okay, so it may be like compromised, then it can lead to the privacy breaches. Okay, so we need to pay attention of, and then the scalability of the security measure. When we secure a large number of devices across the diverse environment, it's really complex. Okay, because those small devices, we always have smart things. We're using in different situation, different environment. So how can we make sure all these devices can have maintain a good security for a huge amount? Then we really need to think about that. Okay. Then when we say when we have those like huge amount complex environment, then we need to maybe have some specialized security measures, and those IoT devices, they may be like really often be quite different security measure than just traditional IT system due to the later constraint. Maybe they have really low computing power, limited battery life, maybe for the real-time requirements. So here's the we need to struggle. Okay, because those smart things, they only focus on maybe one performance. Okay, there's a sensor sending data to the backend, to the API server. And then we have the limited battery life. And I mean, maybe you can always say 24 hours to protecting. They maybe just like kick on for a certain moment and then they will go to sleep mode. That how can we do that? Or for real time, if we always need to filter the package, filter the access, check then it will reduce the performance of real time, right? Performance. So it's for that. Then also we need to think about security by design. If it's essential, so those devices could be like designed with a robust security from the outset, but not and after. So we need to do it together. Then this would happen. Okay. We know where's the challenge, why is matter, then why we require those. But we talk about one thing, about some like sensitive data, maybe related to personal, or some like industry, or like for the environment. Okay, so all this, if the weakness in the security can lead to some privacy violation or some unauthorized access possible to the network, or some really physical harms, right? So if you able to hack someone out, then you can others can open your door, then just go to break into your house and just steal it, all your stuff, right? Some luxury stuff. So that's what we need to pay attention of. And the importance of security in the smart devices, we need to think maybe something like we do have some potential consequence of poor security. We always talk about the data breaches. So all these they happen maybe sometimes in cybersecurity. We talk about it and losing. But there are lots always happen. Maybe some cloud computing really similar. And then we have the malware infections and also device hijacking. So all these will caused by the poor security. Okay. And what are the possible security the first can affect the smart devices? They can those common attack on it will be we learned will be the DOS, the denial of service. Maybe we have a man in the middle, the hijacking and the botnet. And we have some like physical device components, and then we have the average dropping. So we have the interception of the data. So all this they are included. And how about what the actual tech of a real world? Maybe they can control the smart cameras. Maybe for some like baby monitor or some smart laws. It's really happened. Even the news they report a lot. I remember several weeks ago. Okay, so there's a hacker to share the link, the real all the cameras, all the videos, even the real time they share it to public online. You say showing how the house in their house, what the people doing, and because they do have the hacker figure out there's a backdoor to access to the camera. And as far as we know, because when the manufacturer design and then work on their camera, they want to have a better maintenance, we present it to their server side. Then when they have low security, then hacker can use the same path to access to those smart cameras by the default setting. Okay. So also they can attack some like smart grids and connect some to some infrastructure. Then this one is more like a serious problem. And all these smart devices, we look at the security and vulnerability damage itself. Okay, so what is itself potential security risk causing? Maybe we have a lack of regular update. Most of them they didn't receive security patches regularly. Okay, so once you install it, you just leave it over there and operate. Okay, so once they or like the attackers figure out some backdoor, there's no way to fix the bugs or the backdoor. So sometimes we are not able to get updates. Then it's easy to being hacked. Okay, by tech. Or we always using a weak, or we say by default you have the passwords. So most of them the IoT devices or most of the user after they purchase those devices, they just install it, follow the setup, and then just keep a default password. I don't know how many of you using or like knowing when you get the router back home and would you like change all the password or just keep it default? You can think about it. Yeah. Then you think, oh, maybe how about maybe some your wearable devices or something at home, like there's a camera. Most of the people when they install those network camera, they just connect to it, they finish the setup, but they barely change the default access password. And also for the communication, they are like insecure enough. So when they transmit some sensitive data, they didn't encrypt, so they are like an encrypted channel. So it's easy, like you attack through the man in the middle, so they can read all the information. And the smart devices, more about it will be some like insecure cloud interface, because you know all the data, personal or sensitive data, will send into the cloud platform. So when we control those devices remotely, maybe the cloud platform itself implement. Maybe the API server, we have some called the attack by those like AS, you know, so the vulnerability in the API server. Okay. And so we have some like physical security issue, let's say the door itself or like the camera, can be like tampered by the physically, then how can we handle it? So all these like would be the concern. And right here, just like getting a really rough picture idea. Okay, then maybe we can secure the network. Those configuration, maybe long time ago you may see like WPA, W2, maybe one of like WPA3 or some like stronger encryption protocol for Wi-Fi. And also we can set up a really dedicated IT network segmentation, okay, to separate the smart devices for personal from the personal data. Okay, maybe you have another network, so make it separate, like it's functional, but it's really hard to access it, or like not really open to public. Okay, and then we can apply some stronger authentications mechanism. What's a popular way we can do is like called a multi-factor authentication, MFA. So you see, put that a lot, and then I think lots of platforms they switching to it, and then when just like wherever it's possible that we can do it, and always remember to change the default password immediately upon the setup. So once you start the setup, then try to change the password. So don't keep the default. Okay, pretty common. For all the router, maybe for different brands, sometimes they just use the admin and then password is password, or sometimes this admin and no password. But nowadays they're improving. Some of them they ask you once you start the installation setup, then they ask you, okay, please give a new password for it. Okay, it's okay, and always try to update the software and then the firmware. Okay, so once it comes out, then just maybe you can let it set up the time. Maybe sometimes like midnight or somehow. Okay, they can update automatically or regular check for the patches. Okay, so it's always, but it really depends on the sometimes it depends on the manufacturer. Okay, sometimes they discontinue support it, or they are not will update of regularly. So sometimes this will be based on the customer. Good. Okay, how many customers using their service or purchase their devices? Okay, and also we need to monitor and also manage those devices. Maybe if some service or some feature we are not using it, try to close it or turn it off. And because if you know, like let's say in the cybersecurity, I talk about like the ports, right? So those ports allow maybe you are not using it at all, or some service features they require for certain parts, but you never use it. But it can be one of the gateway to let the attacker to attack. Okay. So also we need to monitor device activity for some unusual behavior. Most of them maybe some like large data transfer. So this one is the most easy, like for large. Sometimes you can set a threshold. If you know of, okay, for the data, maybe you just use maybe 40%, 50%, maybe 60%. But once it goes up to 80%, then you will send the admin or user a notification. Then they can look at it. Okay, is any abnormal behavior or actions have been taken? And then we can try to provide some end-to-end encryption. So end-to-end, we talk about the communication between different devices, or even to the cloud. So we can be encrypted. So we have TLS, SSL, AES. Those encryption methods like the asymmetric method. Okay, and also maybe for the access, because no matter how we need to control remotely access, then maybe you can try to use the VPN, so the virtual private network, to secure the remote access. Then also it can lower the risk, like open everything to the public. So it increase the difficulties. Okay, and we can protecting the cloud connected devices. Maybe we can use the secure APIs, and also ensure some like the cloud service provider, they will follow the best practice for encryption and access control. This part we can, as a user, we just need to know, okay, can do this. Of course, to those cloud service provider, they will try their best to increase the security. And what those like data can the smart devices collect? We talk about those maybe sometime location. That's what we always worry about. Maybe some audio, maybe we have some like video feeds, some personal preferences, all the way, and then all those data will cause a privacy risk because once they have a leakage to third parties, or sometimes they will sell it to other parties, it will cause the unauthorized surveillance. Okay, so they want that, and then the mitigation privacy risk. They were mitigating those which can include in the check and configure the privacy setting on all the devices, and also use the device that have robust data protection policies, and that they will allow users to control what the data is collected. So they're all will be like this. Then when we keep on moving on, we have some like regulation standards and then the complaints. So we do have the security frameworks, maybe the NSD, the cybersecurity framework for IoT, and then the European Union, which do have the GDPR. And all these we have the details they're included for the cloud computing. So all this we can look at the details later. And then also is the implications for the smart devices manufacturer. So because once it comes out, then they are aware, okay, they need to provide some regulations. And also we have the California Consumer Privacy Act, CCPA. So sometimes we hear a lot of the short terms. So all this, we even later we do talk about this, but we won't go through all the details one by one. We just need to know, okay, we do have some security frameworks exist, okay. And all the like key security and privacy recommendation, including maybe the manufacturer should implement some like basic security by the design. We say by the design easier, instead just like chips and then receiving data and then sending to the cloud or API server. But they also maybe need some hardware, maybe, or some firewall setting configuration. Okay, so they also need to do regular audits. That means like auditing and then compliance check to make sure they have correct privilege rights, and then make sure they meet all these like sometimes the new framework requirements they need to do. Here's some examples how the failures in security cause some problem for the smart devices. So one is called the Maria botnet attack. So this one like including all those insecurity devices for the like even the whole set. They have the router, there's a camera, and then DVR. So they can they are exposed to create a massive botnet. So all this, so that one I share is one example. So because everything is by default, and even the DVR cameras router. So once I able to figure out where's your WAN IP, then I can just like try to like check all those like ports they're going to be used for camera and DVR. That I can able to access all the videos. Okay. Also we have the ring security camera vulnerability. So that's how the hackers get access to the ring camera feed, because they didn't really maybe secure the communication, and instead they allow injection like sending code. So they're exposing all the personal data and statistics from so the cyber attack on the industry control system. So it highlighting the all those like important securing IoT in some critical infrastructure too. So you see, even industry, they didn't focus in their security setting. Okay, especially nowadays, we are so easy to buy those like IoT stuff, like those smart things easily. So it's hard to make sure all these in a well setting of security. Okay, and nowadays we try to move on to the like AI or some techniques emerging, some new trends in the smart devices later. We also look at it about how can we use AI machine learning in the threat detection. So we'll think about how can the AI can be used to detect some anomalous behavior in the IoT networks. Maybe some because most of the time for the IoT devices, after you install, you will maybe fix the backend API server location. Then if you realize that, okay, maybe some data keep copying to some another address, you may be not set it, then you may know or able to find. And then we have some bot training. If you for other courses that we focus on more about bot training, but you we can use it for some like device authentication. So maybe potentially using blockchain to provide some decentralized security of the IoT devices, maybe. And also we know that zero trust improvement for the cybersecurity. So we can implement this principle to the architecture. So every devices need to be verified before we access the network. Maybe it still can be a potential direction. And always try to set a strong unique password. To me personally, I do have the same issue. Okay, simple password, easy to remember, and always say to my personal habit, I always change to default password. It's the first step. Okay, then when you talk about how complicated, longer, if you in cybersecurity, I mentioned one thing. Longer password is better than short, complicated password. But when it's too long, it's really hard to remember. Okay, maybe we need to use some password managers. But when you use some password manager, then we need to have some other security concept. But we are not discussed in this part, so it is okay. And also try to use the MFA. We talk about it, and enable NFA. Maybe even the devices or apps support it. Maybe for adoption, create account or any setting. Try to and always update the device firmware, or it's going to be helpful. And also we need to review those like privacy settings on the devices. So maybe we need to disable some unnecessary data collection or some features we are not going to do, and then consider the device longevity and then support. So we need to choose some devices that have strong record of security updates. That means they have a long-term support. So it will be better. So far will be so quickly go through all the content, and we just like summarize it. So what are those like smart devices, and then what are those IoT? So they're forming the system. We have the network. So once we have all these smart devices, then we need to think about about the security. So they're crucial. We need to build all these like involve our personal privacies, and then we have some like sensitive data information. So we need to prevent those like cyber attack on the devices. Best practice, we can like try to provide some strong password, secure our network connection, have some regular updates. Yeah, all this encryption or MFA we're using. Okay, and just like always remember, because for the individuals or in the organization, it's important to prioritize the IoT security. Not only at home, maybe building, office, company, or using all the securities. So we need to really encourage to increase the device security level, even the network level. Okay, and next, I will try to stop by this part and come back. I will quickly go through what's the really like objective. We try to use the smart things, and those include the like scopes and importance of the smart things in everyday life. So we know that all the IoT devices, so just like increasingly integrate into the daily activity. All this like, of course, it can enhance in the convenience, efficiency, and automation. home, workplace, industry, everywhere. And it comes out to our smart city, like telemedicine, and there's some smart home. So all these we create a connect ecosystem to improve the quality of life. That's what we expected to use it. And the challenge of what we face, and they're like a basic security mechanism. But to be honest, yes, when it comes out, but we do have it because all the security is like because it's by default. It's not given. So many devices just they have a vulnerable to offline access data breaches and some even some physical tampering. So that's what we talk about this the challenge, and what we need just require some unique security approach to do maybe the scales, connectivities. How can we make sure the trade-off like balance? Okay, if I need to provide real time but have a high security, okay, that means with one weight is fast enough, but also we can have a lower securities processing power. Okay, and then potential impact on the pages, and also some ongoing like patching, secure communication protocol, and some robust authentications mechanism. So they're all critical. Okay, and here's the everything I'll go through. For the lab, we will later we'll cover this part after we set up the Raspberry Pi, and next step mainly we will work on how to using the Raspberry Pi. This part even prepared, but later maybe I will let you to touch it, or unless we have the actual products. But you may look at it. If you do have it at home, then we can see, okay, how can we connect it and do the observation. So this one is the extra part of the lab. You may look at it. If you have it at home, something devices have no, then we will work on something else. Okay, that's it for this part. And for the next lecture will be mainly working on the set up the Raspberry. How can we install the Raspberry and OS, and then install it on your micro SD card and make it operate first. Okay, if you're able to do it, then you don't have to look at it. It's pretty easy. So I prepared the video, and then I will also make the next video for the lecture. Okay, thank you.